Hey, what's going on, guys? It's OB here, and today I'm going to be taking over my last Science Sundays. Thank God for that, because I hate taking over someone else's stuff. But Calvaryns on holiday in Fiji for 4 weeks, and it's nearing the end of his holiday. Hopefully you come back. Please come back and take this off me. I've been so lately because well, there's no excuse. And Drebin had to do last week's Science Sundays, so thank you for doing that. Um, I have no idea what the gameplay is going to be in the background. Probably going to be some Black Ops 2. Um, but I'm just going to talk and then just stick whatever gameplay can go in there. So it'll probably be some PC Black Ops 2 gameplay, which I really liked playing. Anyway, this week in Science Sundays, we're going to be talking about Isaac Newton's law of motion. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's basically saying for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So basically, what that means is for every force there is a reaction force that is equal in size, but opposite in direction. And that is to say, whenever an object pushes another object, it gets pushed back in an opposite direction, equally as hard. That's basically to say if a rocket was to push down on the ground, with its force with its engines trying to push itself up, the reaction of the ground pushes, if this makes any sense, pushes the rocket up with an equal force. So it's physically not moving anywhere. Sorry about that, guys. My recording stopped and there wasn't really much more to talk about. Is Newton's third law, so I'm actually going to be speaking about all of his laws of motion. Now, Newton's second law of motion is acceleration is produced when a force acts on a mass, and the greater the mass of the object being accelerated, in other words, being pushed or gaining speed, the greater the amount of force needed to actually push the object. Now, everyone's witnessed this force in some way. Everybody knows that the heavier object requires more force to move at the same distance as the lighter objects. That's, say, if you was pushing a car up a hill, it would take more force to push something up a hill. Now, say if you was just to push a bike up a hill, you'd be able to push it really, really easy. Well, depending on how steep the hill is, of course. Now, Newton's second law actually gives us an exact, or I should say, relationship between force, mass, and acceleration, and it can be put into an equation to work out how much force you need if you have the mass and how fast it's going. Now, this equation is force equals mass times acceleration, or F equals ma, for all you mathematical people. And I'm going to give you a example of Newton's second law. Now let me just quickly go back to the car thing. Basically, let's just say Tony, right? Tony's car, let's say his car weighs 1,000 kilograms, just for example, and he's out of petrol. And he's trying to push his car to a gas station. And he can make his car, let's just say his car go 0.05 meters a second. Now, using Newton's second law, we know that his car weighs 1,000 kilograms, so that is the mass part of the equation. Now let's put the acceleration. We said 0.05 meters a second, so all we got to do is 1,000 times the 0.05, and that gives us, I didn't plan this out very well, 1,000 blah 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 blah, 50. Now, of course, we've got to change it to newtons because that's his way of measuring things, so it'll be 50 newtons. Now that is how much force is needed to push his car to the gas station, well, the nearest gas station, which I didn't know how many miles was away, so I just guessed that. Now, Newton's first law is basically saying an object at rest, basically an object standing still, will stay standing still unless acted on an unbalanced force. Now that's saying, that's like your computer keyboard. That, say the H button, it will not be pressed down unless you put a force on it to push it down, which there is no force pushing back up to stop you pushing it down. If that makes any sense. And basically it will keep being pushed down unless, I mean at the same speed and in the same direction, unless it is acted upon with an unbalanced force, which means pushing up. So if you take your finger off the, say, H button on your keyboard, there is a force pushing it up, if that makes any sense. So there's a force pushing it up, so it's no longer being pushed down. There's an unbalanced force keeping it pushed up. Now this means that there's the objects, if they're doing something, they will keep doing it. Like, say a car's rolling down a hill, I keep using this car example. Say a car's rolling down a hill and the hill goes on forever. The car's not going to ever stop. It's just going to keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. Unless, say, there's a brick wall in the way, or the wind is really, really strong and can push the car back up the hill, or push the car, like, give enough force to push the car to a standstill and not move anymore. And basically, if it's just keeps on moving and keeps on moving, like as I was saying, that is Newton's first law, and this law is called the law of inertia. Oh, got to say that then. Basically, I'm going to sum that all up again, and that's just objects keep doing what they're doing unless a force is being acted on in the opposite direction. Oh my god, I've had it with Sony Vegas, it's really pissing me off now. Now, before I got cut off again, I was going to start speaking about Sir Isaac Newton. Now, for those of you who didn't know who he was one of the greatest scientists and mathematicians that's ever lived in the history of mankind. He was born in England on December 25th, 1643. So he was actually born on Christmas Day. If the Christmas Day is 25th, if I can remember, yes it is. And he was born in the same year that Galileo died. Now, I'm sure Calvaryns will touch on Galileo in some other time. But yeah, he died in the same year as Galileo. He died? No, he was born in the same year as Galileo died. And Isaac Newton lived for 85 years and died in 1727. Now, Isaac Newton was raised by his grandmother. He attended a free grammar school, and then he ended up going to college in Cambridge. And music, oh my god, I can't even speak anymore. This is really pissing me off. I mean, I've had to do this commentary. Newton actually worked his way through college. While at college, he became very interested and, started writing down math, physics and astronomy. And Newton actually received both a bachelor's and a master's degree whilst at college. Now, while Newton was at college, he wrote down his ideas in like his little journal. And his ideas were about motion, which I've previously spoke about. And he called these ideas his 3 laws of motion. And he also had many other different ideas about gravity, the diffraction of light, which is, if you're looking through a piece of glass, is that light coming straight towards you, or is it coming straight towards you and bouncing towards your eyes? But that's the diffraction of light. And forces, which, if you push something or you pull something, which is like that. And Newton was actually knighted in 1705 by Queen Anne because she liked his ideas and thought his ideas were so good. And Newton's ideas are actually so well good that his accomplishments have laid down the foundations for modern science, what we use science today, and it's revolutionised the world and changed it completely. And as I've said before, Sir Isaac Newton died in 1727, so he did live to the old age of 85. Now, I want to thank you guys for watching this week's Science Sundays. Leave a bit of feedback. Now, I know my Science Sundays are bad, but thank Calvary for that. He should be back soon, so check out Calvaryns, you know, check out EHG Network, check out me, check out Drebin, check out everyone, check out Mr. Protodenium, or Deeponka. I want to thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to EHG Network. Peace out.